Well, it's that time again. I am Sean. Welcome to Rimshots with Sean, brought to you by Barstools and Bandtalk. I have a fun interview here tonight, fun in a number of senses. I have Mr. Pat McTurner all the way from YUL, Montreal. Pat plays in Hysteria, which is the Montreal answer to Def Leppard. Pat, welcome.
Hi, Sean. How are you? And thanks very much for having me.
This is going to be fun. Now, I guess the first thing I'm going to say is, you guys are tearing up Montreal and you're going to Ottawa and you're doing some places like that. Just talk a little bit before we get on to what we really want to talk about. Just talk about what you guys have been up to.
Well, I mean, we got a booking agent out of Montreal, and she's very, very well connected in the YUL, as you politely put it.
Yeah.
And she started us out at a couple of show bars, and shows went really, really good, and there was kind of a buzz created. And I my phone started to light up for independent shows. Instead of dealing with the agent, they were calling me direct, and she was cool with that. And next thing you know, we were in Thunder Bay, Ontario. We were in Warren, Ontario. We're going back to Sudbury, July 15th. Been playing in around Montreal a lot. We're playing pretty much, on a bi-weekly basis now. And
What
I mean, like any bar, like any band, you start in smaller venues, but we've reached into some pretty good sized show bars quite quickly.
what's the gig in Sudbury? What bar is it?
Uh it's actually it's an arena we're playing in.
Ah, very cool.
Yeah, it's a big arena. It's a benefit show. And I was talking to Laura. What day is it today? It's Wednesday. I
Yeah.
was talking to Laura on on Monday, and she told me that it's a 2,000 seater, and they've already sold, I think, 1,400 seats or 1,300 seats.
That's good business. And it's Sudbury.
Yeah,
I played Sudbury, but I used to play the Colson. I used to play the Coach House. It's a fun town. Great music fans there. Great rock music fans there. You've been there before. Go have fun. So what we wanted to talk about, we want to touch on. You and I kind of meet by chance through this little old Barstools and Band Talk thing, and we were kind of going back and forth. And you wanted to get out here to the East Coast, and I said, well, hey, I might have a couple of people I can talk to about. Lo and behold, you guys are coming out next month, man. And we'll get the dates in a second, but you're playing one of my favorite places, Dolan's. Barry Hughes, Mike Coffin, that crew there, amazing. You're doing a Wednesday show at Dolan's, you're doing a Friday show in Pictou, and you're doing a Saturday show on my home ice, Monty's. So let's talk about the dates, Pat. Let's talk about that first.
yeah. Well, we're the band's departing on the Tuesday for Fredericton. We're gonna drive through. We don't want to drive 8.5 hours and then play that night. So we're gonna be leaving on the Tuesday, get into Fredericton. Barry's such a cool guy.
Oh my God, Barry's amazing. And you know what you'll find about that bar, just the people, the vibe. It's just a great place, man. They're the friendly. It's without a doubt one of my very, very, very favorite places to play.
Yeah, like he's been amazing. When I told him we were coming down on the Tuesday, he was like, "Well, you guys got a place to stay?" And I said, "Well, we're going to go to a Comfort Inn or whatever." And he says, "No, you're not." He says, "You're going to stay at, I believe he's got a hotel adjacent to the bar."
I tell you what he has. He's got so Barry owns Airbnbs, which we
Okay.
stay at, and they are amazing, man. It's just like you get your own apartment. You're literally 3 minutes from the bar. I'll tell you, you'll have a great time there. Fredericton's a wonderful, wonderful town.
Yeah, and Sean, I mean, I've been all over the place, but the one place I've not been is the East Coast. And not only, am I really looking forward to coming down and playing in the East Coast at these, these pubs, these show bars. I'm really looking forward to seeing the East Coast because, anyone I've talked to have said, Patty, they are the nicest people in the world. And my wife actually went out with a guy from the East Coast for 5 years before I married her.
Uh-oh.
And she was saying, she spent a lot of time there, and she was saying that they're just salt of the earth people. So, I'm also looking forward to that side of it as well.
Right on. So the Wednesday night, that's June,
That is June 14th.
and you guys can go to the Dolan's Facebook page to find out about how to get advance tickets to that. And then the 14th, 16th, you're in Pictou County down at Fat Tony's. And then the
Exactly.
16th, the 17th.
17th, that's right.
Yeah. Monty's. And that's going to be fun because you got a little local band from here that's got an amazing singer that is going to be opening for you guys. Looking forward to it, man. So yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Well, actually, that little local singer, I've been in touch with her, and she's gonna get up and she's gonna sing 2 Def songs with us. So the band's really excited about that. Really excited.
And she is, and we're talking, of course, about Michelle Ryder, and Michelle
Yes.
Ryder and Side Hustle is going to be opening for you guys. And she's a legend in that room, man. She played that room long before she had Side Hustle going, and it'll be fun, man. We opened for Haywire in that room.
Okay. Yeah.
Such a good vibe. It's so much fun. Um, Tell people what to expect. I've seen some video, and I mean, you guys are jamming up there. You're doing the work, and I mean, Def Leppard's not an easy band to replicate.
No, I mean, musically, Sean, it's not that hard, okay? And that might come as a surprise to some people, but they're like their solos and what have you. Phil Collins, great guitarist. Vivian Campbell, great guitarist. But it's like I'm a guitarist in band. I played lead and rhythm. You're not talking about Eddie Van Halen stuff here, right? You're talking about very, very quick guitars, very melodic, uh, good, great licks. A lot of the licks came from Steve Clark, the late and great Steve Clark. But musically, it's not great. The challenge for any band that is going to try and cover a Def Leppard, whether it be a cover band or a tribute band, is the vocals.
Yep.
Because you mentioned anybody that knows that genre, 80s, 90s, 2000, and you mentioned the word Def Leppard, and anybody that knows that music, they're going to say melody, harmonies. And a guy Steve Creep, he was when Def Leppard was in Montreal in 2017. Steve brought me backstage, and we were walking around, and I said, Steve, I said, what do those 4 guys do? Like Joe Elliott has 4 engineers, just him for his vocals.
Wow.
4 engineers. We're trying to emulate, if you will, with a $329 pedal, right?
Yeah.
We come really, really, really close, right? Really close. But I mean, Def Leppard in the last 2 years, they are by far the biggest band in the world. Biggest band in the
So we're just getting started. We want to come back. What we're going to do, we're going to take a little break. We're going to pay some bills. We're going to come back on the flip side with Mr. Pat McTurner from Hysteria after this. Welcome back to Rimshots with Sean, brought to you by Barstools and Bandtalk. I'm here with Pat McTurner, and it's funny, Pat, you're sitting there like, oh, I don't want to mess up. You watch how much I mess up in this, and it just looks like absolute magic once Jason gets a hold of it. And Steve Creep, shout out to Stevie. He, I haven't met him personally, face to face. He and I talk a lot online. He's just a super great guy. I had a hand in signing his old band Playhouse to RFL Records.
Yep.
Not as much as my cohort Doug Franklin, but that being said, and Stevie's got his own, I think they're called the Peelers now, his own little band, and he's a solo act and a duo act. And the guy does it all, man. Drums, guitar, sings. When you can barely play your own instrument, you just love guys that can play everything. So
Yeah, he's a machine. Actually, last year our drummer couldn't make 2 shows, and I texted Steve. I said, give me a shout. He called me back, and I had already flipped on our 24 song set list, and he says, "Oh, Pat, I think I know 12, 13 of them." Anyways, long story short, he filled in, and didn't miss a beat. Didn't miss a beat.
no, he's a good fella. So back to the show again. So I mean, our band, we do, and we've chosen to, here in Halifax, there's typically, we call it the Halifax Song Bible, right? It's like, a Celtic flairish type sort of thing. It's kind of folky or whatever. And I mean, that's what you play downtown. We've chosen to kind of go in the route of a show band, as have you guys. So we're doing a lot of Styx. We're doing a lot of Journey. We're doing Toto. It's that kind of bombastic thing. So you guys are, there's work involved, right? You mentioned the music might not, we're not talking Rush, but it's still, you gotta be on the ball. Vocally, let's go back to that again for a second, because when we're doing some of this stuff, there's nights where I'm sitting at rehearsal, I'm not even playing. They're working on the vocals, and I'm twiddling my thumbs. But it's a very, very, very important part of this music.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, and I didn't mean to diminish the playing of Def Leppard because, we rehearse once a week religiously every Monday, 8 to 11, and we've been playing these songs for 3 years now. Okay, because what had happened is that I had started this band actually during COVID. I got together with some guys and they said, Pat, it'd be great, but it's going to take some work. We rehearsed for 8 months in my studio downstairs. We got it nice and tight. I had booked 24 shows. COVID kicked in and what have you. So we've been playing these songs so long. But what we do now is every third week, we cut our rehearsal in half and we work strictly on vocals.
Yep.
I mean, we're still trying to perfect Love Bites, right? I mean, that's a tough one. That's very tough song to sing.
So I guess I'm blessed. I have two musical directors inside Hustle. I handle the business side, and I have Mark Horton and I have Peter Dolman, who are our guitar players. And it's funny because those guys are hearing things that I'm not hearing, right? I mean, like, I'm not really paying attention to the vocals. But when you whittle away some of that stuff, I mean, the songs, in their essence are, fairly basic. The vocals are, there's such a big part of that tunage that if you don't get them right, you're just basically wasting your time and everybody else's time.
Yeah. And this is where, a lot of them, people say, well, it's just gang vocals with Def Leppard. That's not true. It's not the farthest thing from the truth. Their vocals are very accurate and very precise when they come in, when they exit. We actually hired a vocal coach.
Nice.
Yeah. We said, guys, if we're gonna do this, let's do it right. And Alexandra came in and she ripped every song apart. Like, I'm talking from "Too Late for Love." I don't sing, as you can see. I'm the only guy in a band that doesn't sing. But we must have worked on that one part for just 45 minutes. But it's bearing fruit, right? It's paying off because, like I said, when you think of Def Leppard, you think of vocals.
Well, and listen, man, I know, and and I talk about sitting there not playing, maybe just keeping time with a rim shot, and it's very monotonous for me. But it's like when we go out and we play on any tune, you see the work live, and it's like it's muscle memory. Yeah, you eventually get to the point, but when you hear tapes and playback, and you go like, "Wow, like this is actually paying off." Where some people just aren't doing the work; they're just kind of showing up and playing.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm the leader of the band, if you will. And it's not like my way or their highway, but the final decision will come down to me which direction we want to go in. I finance the band and what have you. When I brought guys on, I told them, I said, there's two things I want from you. Number one is, this band is a commitment. It's a commitment. You need to show up and know your parts. And not only know your parts, Sean, you need to continue to work on your parts. Because I don't know about you and drum patterns and what have you, but if I go 3-4 days where, I own a transport company in Montreal and I can get busy and what have you, I'm going on a call after with China. We're done here. If I don't pick up that axe of mine, that Jackson, for 3-4 days, I have tracks and I play along with the tracks. Sometimes I'm like, oh shit, is that a G or a G sharp?
Yeah.
And I played these songs for 3 years. Like, what I do is I play 12 Def Leppard songs a day religiously. I'll play set one, set two, set one, set two. Because these songs, like I tell the guys in my bands, and I'm sure you can attest to this as well, they can get away from you so fast.
Absolutely.
Because they're really, really, like a song like "Fooling." That's a fast moving song.
It's funny. We played that song at a show a couple of weeks ago, and some guy was on the dance floor and he goes, great song, but you do, like, I don't know, they went to hear "Heave Away" or something like that. And Mark looked at the guy and goes, that's a hard song to play. Like, wow. And, it's just like you're up there and, and obviously if you frig it up, people will know it. But if you do it right, you get a little bit of, oh, wow. And get a little bit of, oh, well, it should be right anyway. So it's just a really weird sort of reaction that sometimes you get to that material.
Yeah, I mean, the Deaf, they have so many explosive songs. So many. I mean, I don't have to name their hits, right? Hysteria, Pour Some Sugar. I'll tell you one of my favorite songs to play though is Frankie, our singer, he buzzes off for 3 minutes and 54 seconds, is Switch 625.
Yep.
That's when it's me and Tony Montana. You know, that's what I call our young guitar player. His name's Anthony. I call him Tony Montana. He is just he's a young kid, 24 years old, but he is a virtuoso guru on this instrument. Okay. Like he's just, he's like asking you, Pat, how's your day going? Oh, did you ship anything today? And just up and down the neck, right? Just
Yeah, yeah.
off the charts. But that's one of the songs that I personally really, really, stands out for me to play because it's just me and the boys up there, right?
Thanks for bringing that up because for our show, when not the one we're doing with you, but we're gonna put that in, and I haven't even listened to it yet. And I should know it because I've heard it forever, right? So thanks for that. We're gonna take one more break here with Mr. Pat McTurner from Hysteria, and we'll be back after this, kids. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Rimshots with Sean, brought to you by Barstools and Bandtalk. Two things. We're starting on Eastlink TV May 26th, so check that out and subscribe. I mean, the content doesn't cost you anything on our channel, so it's easy to subscribe, so please do that. So, Pat, it's funny, you mentioned I like to ask musicians this question because I'm a dedicated practicer. I love to practice, and sometimes I get the most out of myself when I don't feel like doing it. I also do a lot of fill-in work, and I will go and obsess over a tune, and then once I figure it out, I don't ever revisit it again. It just sticks in my brain. What's your regimen? Now, you gave us a little bit of insight, but what's your regimen in terms of what you do personally and what you do for the band to make sure you're prepared?
Well, like I mentioned, we every Monday nights, 8 o'clock, 8 to 11, 8 to 11:15, 11:20, some nights, depending if we're, working on a new song or what have you. That is our night, and it's religious. And the guys have told whoever they got to tell that is Hysteria's night. Me personally, I'm on these songs daily. Like just before I hopped on the screen here with you, I banged out 4 or 5 songs. Every chance I get, I'm on that guitar because I don't want to, like, we're playing a show this Saturday night. It's a motorcycle event. It's my brother-in-law's. It's the enduro. People, they ride around trails, what have you, and they're doing it at an arena. And then they've sold 1,700 tickets.
Nice.
They got a big 40 by 22-foot stage. They brought in a big lighting truck, et cetera, et cetera. I don't want to be the one to get up there and drop the ball. And it does happen. You get lost on stage. You don't hear your monitor right. It does happen. But I want to try and put everything on my side so it doesn't. So yeah, I personally put a lot of time into my instrument. I really do, and it's paid off. I mean, I've become a better guitar player.
Yeah, no question. And I I had a post a while back, and some people agreed, and some people took it the wrong way, and whatever. But I was at a show one time, and this guy came up to me, and he said, "You guys look like you're part of a band." He goes, "I go out to a show, and I can't tell the difference between the band and the guy eating chicken wings in the crowd." And unfortunately, uh, the show band side of things now it's making a comeback, but it kind of got a little dull. Like people weren't paying attention to it. So for you guys to be doing that and bringing it back, I think is huge because I think the audience deserves more than just a bunch of guys up there tapping their foot and standing in one place and playing standards.
Yeah, I agree, and all I can do is speak for my band and my guys. Before we went down this road, we actually had a business meeting, and we said, listen, once again, we're trying to emulate one of the biggest bands in the world, in my opinion. Okay. And I've seen them 19 times.
Ah,
Okay. I've seen them all across Canada, US. I mean, I love Def Leppard. I love their music, and I love their show too.
yep.
Their show's great. And I said, guys, we can't go out on that stage and play like we're Saturday afternoon drinking 12 beers in my garage here. If we're going to be a tribute, we're going to be a show band. We have got to be really good, which entails a lot of work, because you're right. I've seen some bands, I saw a Pearl Jam band a couple of weeks ago in Montreal, and I never cut a musician down because it takes a lot of balls just to get up there, as you know. Okay. But you could tell they probably didn't put as much practice in as they should have. Right.
Yep. Yep.
And that.
We may have lost you, Pat. Well, we'll see if Pat comes back on here in a second. Well, this has never happened on Rimshots, but hey, we roll with the punches. So here's what we're going to do. We'll try to get Pat back on to finish up that segment. But so you had the dates that were on there. June, I think it's June 14th, which should be a Wednesday night at Dolan's, one of my favorite places in the world. On the Friday night, Fat Tony's down in Pictou County. And on the Saturday night, Hysteria with Michelle Ryder and Side Hustle. Check it out. All those places, Monty's.eventbrite.com for the Saturday show. Fat Tony's, I think, on their Facebook page. And Dolan's, everybody in Fredericton, you know how to get tickets there. And I tell you, it's going to be worth it. So on that end, guys, sorry that we lost him, but hey, we'll get him back again. And in the meantime, subscribe. Thanks for your support. And we'll talk to you soon.